Well, thanks for having me as part of the program today. The Northeastern Association, I know you know this, but it's just a crucial organization to our whole region. I know this firsthand as the Chamber of Commerce executive in South Montgomery County, and then as a state legislator. Literally nothing important dealing with roads, bridges, railways, water we needed, water we don't in flooding, and this whole educational infrastructure. Northeastern Association was just a crucial advocate and champion for all of it. In short, Northeastern wouldn't be Northeastern without this association. Senator, thank you so much for your leadership throughout the years. We were reminiscing beforehand when we were standing in front of a group of 800 angry people defending the Grand Parkway through Northeastern, along with our county commissioner at the time. And you never flinched in any of those. I ducked behind them just a little, but we stuck tight. And Chris, this board we were talking a minute ago is exactly these organizations and these professional leaders are the ones you want leading this association. So thank you for your volunteer time as well. Marlisa, I've known you since you first started with the association. Watched your career. You've become such a professional, such a leader, and so knowledgeable. Really proud of all that you've done in your career as well. Northeastern is better for you as well. So I want to make this kind of work for you. Let's talk about the economy some, and then about what steps we need to take next in order to grow this economy. We're fortunate, obviously, to be here in Texas, but the reason we tackled modernizing our tax code is because we had fallen so far behind the rest of the world. We ranked, out of our 35 top competitors, we ranked 31st and we're falling. Every economic expert told us the economy was not going to grow much faster than 2% for a decade or more. The jobs would continue to move overseas. The manufacturing was not coming back. The paycheck would remain stagnant again for another decade. And there was nothing we could do about those companies making the decision to move overseas. 16 of them here from Texas. We thought there was a much higher potential for the U.S. economy. That's why we tackled modernizing the tax code. And what I always tell people is, look, this was a major overhaul. We won't know for many years down the road what the complete impact will be. But the early signals are very encouraging. And some of them are more encouraging than others. I think you know because it's been more widely reported. So our economy is growing 50% faster than the experts predicted even 2 years ago. Our unemployment rate is at the lowest in half a century. It is at the lowest in history for some important groups for us: African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, teenagers, and the disabled are seeing opportunities they haven't seen in a long time. Poverty for Latinos and African Americans are at the best since we started reporting. Low-income workers, we're seeing the fastest wage growth for American workers in a decade, but what's really encouraging is the fastest wage growth is occurring at the bottom end. And so after income inequality having grown now for almost 50 years, we'll know at the beginning of 2020, there's a very high chance that with the current growth for this year, income inequality could shrink for the first time in half a century, because wages are growing for those most at the lower income and modest income, exactly what we hoped would happen. Today, U.S. manufacturing is back. Last year, they experienced their greatest year in more than 2 decades. What I'm encouraged about is that manufacturing jobs, we were losing 20,000 a year up until 2016. Today, we've added 450,000 new manufacturing jobs, and more are on the way. So we know we're seeing growth in really encouraging ways. But here's what I'm more excited about, is because most of what we did in rewriting this tax code was designed not for the short term, it was designed for the long term. We wanted first to influence, Gordy, where location decisions are made. Whether those jobs would be made in the U.S., whether your patents would be held here, whether your headquarter decisions would be to the U.S., and where did you do your research and manufacturing. What we're seeing now is, frankly, better than we expected. For the first time in modern history, or at least as far as economists can measure, there's more foreign investment coming into the U.S. than leaving. We are creating a giant sucking sound from the rest of the world back toward the United States. Businesses are deciding now to bring back over $1 trillion last year alone in profits from overseas to be invested here in the United States. They're making, Jody, the decisions to do their research here in America, to move their patents back to America, to make their headquarters decisions here in America, and do their manufacturing close to research and development here in America. Those decisions take some years to show up the economy, but those decisions are being made right now as we speak, all in a good sense. But besides the location decisions, so the U.S. now has leapfrogged to become the #1 most competitive economy in the world. It had lost that position for more than a decade. It's now the #1 most competitive economy in the world. Looks to stay that way as long as we continue to be competitive. But there was a second thing we wanted to change. Not just the trajectory of the economy, not just where location decisions are made. We wanted to change the investment decisions of the world. In other words, we designed much of this tax code, especially the full and unlimited expensing, to encourage businesses to invest now in their workers, in their company, in their technology, in their buildings. We didn't want to encourage businesses to buy stuff. Just we wanted to encourage businesses to invest in the technology, in the equipment that makes their workers in America so much more productive than in the rest of the world. So investment today is running business investment 4 times faster than it was just 2 years ago. Labor productivity, in other words, how much more productive our workers, are growing 4 times faster than they were just 2 years ago. And as a result, we now have 1 million more job openings than workers. We don't see inflation because with higher wages, workers are becoming more productive. Our economy is growing in significant ways. And I'll finish with this part that I always follow closely. When I became Ways and Means Chairman around Thanksgiving of 2015, 2 weeks after I was named chairman, my predecessor and friend, Paul Ryan, gave me a task. He said, I want to lift the 40-year-old ban on exporting crude oil from America. So for 4 decades, we had been prohibited from doing that. He said, and Kevin, you need to negotiate. So 2 weeks into my new job, we had the task of eliminating that ban, lifting it, and negotiating with Harry Reid and Democrats in the Senate and the House what those trade-offs would be. We made those trade-offs. It has, I think, been a game changer for American energy here in Texas and around the world. I think even more so for America has given us a soft new diplomatic power we didn't have before, which we'll be using to wean other regions like Europe off Russian oil and onto U.S. oil. Really critical, but at the exact same time, we made the research development tax credit permanent. So today, I was just up in New York crunching the numbers with a bunch of economists. Right now, our research and development is growing at 3 times the rate it has for the past decade. In other words, if the race for innovation in the economy is won by the country that innovates the best, right now you in our business community are investing 3 times more in that innovation race than we have for the past decade. All which leads me to believe that our economic growth this year, while it may slow some, could well be close to that 3% level in moving forward from there. And so, all good news, but not a perfect increase, because I think right now the two biggest restrictors to growth for America in Fort Texas is one, we need more workers of every type and every skill, and we need more customers. That's free trade. So today, at 1 o'clock, I'll be doing a conference call. International trade begins in the Ways and Means Committee. The new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement is a good one. It's an improvement in many areas, not all, many areas on the trade agreement we have today. For Texas, our trading relationship with Mexico and Canada are crucial. We sell $120 billion a year in made in Texas products and services to our best trading partners in Mexico and Canada. Moreover, we are able to join them in the manufacturing supply chain and make U.S. products more competitive around the world, because we put the strengths of Mexico and Canada together with us. Texas is the #1 exporting state in the nation. No one sells their ships more around the world than we do, and the #1 exporting region in Texas is Eastern Galveston region. So we are made for trade. This new trade agreement with Mexico and Canada is crucial for our state. We need to get it to the President's desk at the end of this year, and it's really incumbent, I think, Chris, for the North Houston Association, because the economy is so crucial to our region, and trade is as well for infrastructure. I think you can help us make the case to our Houston area legislature how important Republicans and Democrats together, how important this is for Texas. I don't see a reason why even one of the 36 Texas lawmakers in the House should vote no on this agreement. It is so crucial. And finally, on workers, we desperately need workers today and in the future in all across the country. We need low-skilled, medium-skilled, high-skilled workers. Doesn't matter if you're in retail or energy or healthcare or technology or research. Our businesses are starved for workers. Right now, it is the greatest governor on our growth right now, the workforce. I think it's the #1 economic challenge facing our country, and that severity of workers will grow even more over the next 6 to 10 years. And so if we're not waking up every day asking ourselves, how do we grow more workers that we need with the skills we need? If we don't wake up every day saying we need a much smarter immigration system to be able to attract the workers that can help America compete. And if we're not waking up every day asking, how do we move the 2 million people from welfare on the sidelines back to the front lines of our workforce, which they're capable of doing? If we don't do all those 3 things very well, our economic growth in America just won't be as strong as it should be. And young people, the Marlises of the future, will not have the same opportunities, our kids and grandkids, that we have today. And so my view is we need today more customers through trade, more workers through an all-of-the-above strategy, and I'll finish with this. I do worry in Washington that as long as more time is being spent on investigations and impeachment, not enough time will be spent on infrastructure and immigration. In fact, I'm pretty sure as long as we've got 4 committees doing investigations, a bulk of the Democrat majority continuing to focus on impeachment. The worst kept secret in Washington is impeachment is still on. I think the more time wasted there versus time spent on a real immigration solution and a real infrastructure solution, which comes through the Ways and Means Committee. I think unless we have a reprioritization of those top issues, we won't see what we need in the workforce and infrastructure going forward. We had a great hearing the other day in the Ways and Means Committee about infrastructure. The need is, as you know, undeniable, and it's not just roads and bridges, it's rail, it's ports, it's water, it's broadband, it's all the above, so we can have a lot of work to do there. So Chris, with your permission, because Northeast Association, these are the leaders that will help us move these types of things. With your permission, can I stop and just take a question? A couple of questions, is that okay? for having me. Oh, shoot, I was so close to getting on. Yeah.
What are you doing about research dollars coming to Houston area from NIH, places such as Andy Anderson and all that?
Yeah, so I think that the key is NIH dollars are growing. That's the good news. Private sector R&D is growing. I think the key for Houston has been, we've been awfully good at bringing those research dollars here. And a lot of the groundbreaking innovation is occurring here. Our challenge, as you know, is taking it that next step and having a local business take that technology, run with it and develop it, you know what I mean, for the world. That's always been sort of our challenge in Houston, because so much of that ends up going to Austin, or in some cases to Dallas as well. Right now, I've noticed in our region, there are several initiatives really focused on how do we bridge that gap in biotech and tech transfer with Houston. We have every strength right here. It should be growing from right here. It isn't yet. Now we think, with the groups working on it, more so than me, are focused on the financing, the skilled workers that we need, and sort of that tech transfer culture that in Austin or Boston or Silicon Valley have over us. That's a strength we need to build that muscle here in Houston. What do you think?
Yeah, it's all Washington. It's not what I think. I think we need to bring the money here. I mean, and, places such as the medical center, those people have done a great job bringing the money in here.
Yeah.
And of course, we need our politicians to help pump up our organizations here.
Yeah. Good news is medical research is expanding. A lot of those dollars are coming here. The breakthroughs are happening here. But that next step, we're missing an economic opportunity, I think, to grow those technologies out of this.
Congressman, I see another question.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Congressman, you mentioned about foreign investment coming into the United States.
Yeah.
Being a great thing. Do you have an opinion on China investment that's being made and the concerns about security and those natures, and how are we dealing with that?
Yeah, so great question. The question was about China's investment and foreign direct investment. So I think on the first, I think what we all can agree on is just like we want businesses to invest in North Houston, you want businesses around the world to invest in America. So that's a good thing that those dollars are coming back in unprecedented amounts. You always have to be careful about the security issues. You're seeing that in Wallaway, which is into the broadband side of this. We passed nearly passed legislation that really rewrites the way our U.S. looks at those security investments here in America, specifically from China. If you may recall, the president was looking at an executive order sort of crackdown on that. He decided to let Congress run with that law. The bill came out of the Senate. I don't think it's come out of the House yet, but it modernizes the issues. China's gotten smarter and more sophisticated about those types of security investments. So you're right to be concerned on those specific ones. I think we all have a right to sort of celebrate the overall investment coming back into the United States. What do you think?
No, it's just a concern. Everything's been in the news and potential hacking, and even on the Russian side, we've got to protect our internal system.
Yeah, one of the questions too this sort of leads to, so where are we in this China, trade war? Where is it at right now? And I think what I've noticed in our discussions with U.S. Trade Representative in the White House, that's not a group that's ever overly optimistic about anything. In fact, they're fairly skeptical and pretty realistic. But I think they feel there is some optimism to be had toward this China-U.S. agreement. And there's a couple reasons for it. One, China's been cheating a long time, and it has cost us tens of thousands of jobs. And they've been cheating the world. This president, to his credit, is the first to take them head on, using tariffs as leverage to bring them to the table. Not an easy thing to do, has unintended consequences. Nonetheless, it has brought China to the table. Two things are encouraging. One is issues that China said we will never discuss with you are now not only on the table, they look to be part of this agreement. Structural changes in the way China has cheated in the past being addressed. We haven't seen the whole solutions yet. They're definitely in that mix for the first time. Secondly, they spent 2 months, Chris, going line by line through this proposed agreement, focused on some key things. One, can you measure China's commitment to stop cheating and follow the rule of law? One, can you measure it? Second, is it enforceable? So in the past, China would say we are buying, for example, all legal software in the central government. But in their provinces, in their local regions, they do cheating like no one's business. So this new agreement is focused on can you enforce it at every level in China. That's crucial. We've been burned on that before as a country. And then thirdly, if China doesn't live up to its commitment, so what are the ramifications? What is the punishment? U.S. Trade Representatives negotiating this and the Treasury Secretary have proposed that if China cheats, the U.S. can retaliate and China cannot. It is that hard, harsh of a retaliation. We'll see if China decides to accept that in part or in whole. But my bottom line for explaining all that is to say, I think there is some guarded optimism on that front, and I'm convinced if we pass the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement and resolve China in a good, positive way, you're going to see some of the clouds lifted, both here in Texas, economically, and around the world as well. It's pretty important.
Yes, this morning Tesla announced that they're going to be introducing 1 million autonomous vehicles to the road to compete with Uber and Lyft. Has there been any discussion about how automation is going to affect our local labor and economy and what we're going to do about it?
So the question was, the announcement of Tesla about the autonomous vehicles, but the bigger question was, are we looking at how investment, innovation, technology affect our workforce? The short answer is, heck yes, we are, for two areas. One, it will change the workforce we need. Obviously, a quarter to a half of the new jobs we're seeing never existed before. So our workforce has to be flexible and nimble and tied to what we need. But secondly, I think a lot of innovation today is being driven by lack of workforce. You don't have the technicians, you don't have the nurses, you don't have the researchers. So what innovations can help pick up the load? And so we're sort of monitoring it and thinking about it in two ways. The impact today, and then in the future, how does it impact the workforce of the farther into the 21st century? I think we're fortunate here in Houston. We have the business community, major leader on workforce. We've got community colleges, universities, school districts, economic development groups, all focused on how do we dramatically scale up our workforce. I mean by tenfold scale up what we're doing today. It will need all of that plus some, plus the innovation. So we've got some work to do, but this is an issue I'm absolutely confident we can do. This is a challenge we can meet. What do you think?
I would like to see us invest more in community college, of course.
Yeah. Gosh, funny how I knew that was coming that direction. So the reason I'm excited about autonomous cars is so I expect to be, when I'm 9 years old, no one will be able to take away my car. So I will be driving all over, somewhat legally. So I'm really excited about autonomous cars.
Any other questions?
Let's finish with this. Let's talk about what might be going right up there. So the media in Washington, as you know, are fight promoters at heart. They pick a fight, they start a fight, they shine a spotlight on a fight, whether there is or not. I I don't think Congress is any more or less partisan than it has been in a long time. The challenge is the media simply will not report a single thing where both parties are working together. And if they do, it's up for one day and gone as quickly as you can imagine. I know on the Ways and Means Committee, I'm no longer the chairman, so I'm what they call the ranking member of the top Republican. I have an excellent working relationship with the new chairman, Richie Neal from Massachusetts. As you'd imagine, the philosophies of the conservative Texan and a Massachusetts Democrat are different. But we've always worked together to find common ground. And so far this year, he as chairman and I have moved out the first reforms of the IRS in 2 decades. If you remember, we approved that of the House twice last year, bipartisan measures. You're going to love the sweet design. You're no longer assumed to be guilty until proven innocent. You'll have an independent group looking at your disputes. You're ranking in your deeds as the IRS. All that. You passed the House twice last year in a bipartisan way. It's just passed the House a week or 2 ago. We're working together with the new tax code. Businesses have a little more money in their pockets, so do families. Helping families save more for education, for health care, for retirement. Passed the House twice last year out of our committee. Richie Neal, new chairman, agreed that was crucial. We passed it out of the committee as well. We hope to get it to the president's desk. And then just last month, we are working together on trying to lower drug prices in America. As you know, for a lot of families, with generics and others, drug prices have become more manageable. But if you're that family with that rare or costly disease, or combination of needs for medicines, your out-of-pocket costs are bankrupt level costs. It's not acceptable. And so Chairman Neal and I passed legislation out last month that for the first time pulls the curtain back on how drugs are priced in America, requires companies all along that chain to make public their justification for price increases, the rebates and discounts that occur along the line. For the first time, we will be able to see how those occur and how those drugs end up on certain lists and not on others. And we'll have for the first time a better feel for why, and more information for patients on why they may pay twice as much for medicine in out-of-pocket in one setting and half that in a setting across the street. We think we start all of that with better information and more transparency. My point being, I think we're capable of solving the big problem. I think it ought to start with workforce, infrastructure, and a solution on immigration. But as long as too much time is spent on the investment, on the political side, and it is unbelievable amount of time, not enough oxygen will be spent on solving the big problems. That's what we're capable of doing. I'm convinced, and I'll finish with this. There's only 50 of us Republicans in the House that have ever been in the minority. We have a really young and new Republican conference. I took my Ways and Means Republicans on a retreat 2 weeks after we were sworn to have an honest discussion about what are our assets, what aren't they in the minority, what are our priorities for this country, how do we achieve. And so our philosophy, and my philosophy in the Ways and Means Committee is we will work very hard to stop bad ideas, and trust me, there are plenty of them going around Washington these days. But we'll work equally hard to find common ground. So where there's areas we can work together, where we can solve big problems in a positive way, we should never hesitate to go all in on those types of solutions. And I'm convinced that whether you're in the majority or in the minority, if you take that philosophy, fight against bad ideas, work together on common ground, we can actually do some good things for the American people. With that, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Great words of wisdom. We appreciate it. And thank you, members from the audience, for participating and asking some questions. So in closing today, I just want to announce 2 upcoming events. Our annual awards luncheon is May 29th. We will be presenting our awards that we give each year. We'll also have Montgomery County Judge Keogh giving a state of Montgomery County, and we are efforting to have Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo also with us on that same day. And then our 25th annual golf tournament, I mentioned already, September the 30th. With that, thank you very much for being here. Have a great day.